long time.
Yeah, thank you. It is nice to be back. It's been 9 years, I think it's
That's
been.
right, exactly.
I was struggling around here back in 2016. That was my last time, so it's great to have come back. And yeah, thank you. It's been a really good year. I think overall, throughout the year and especially the summer, I think I've played very consistently and worked on my game really well. And then just the last month or so, I managed to get that win on the PGA Tour. That seemed like a really big thing and a big story. And then the Ryder Cup came, and just being a part of that winning team was something that was very special. So 2025 has been filled with a lot of good things, but there's still 3 more events to go or so. So just focused on now and trying to make sure I finish as strong as I can.
You've got everything on your resume out there except one thing, that you've got a bunch of top 5s on the majors. Would that be the goal for 26?
It's definitely something that I will have, in my mind, and I'll have written down. I feel like the majors are absolutely, career defining tournaments, and I always try to feel like, all the hard work I put in, I try to make sure I feel like I have a major winning game, if you like, and going to those this year was actually. As good as the season has been, it was a poor major year for me. I didn't really, I didn't come close to, being in contention or competing in those majors, and so yeah, like that's something I'll look back on and be, slightly disappointed in, but also, take away the lessons and look at what I could do better going into next year. Because, like I said, I feel like my game has been really good, but those majors I just lacked getting into contention for. And again, there's 4 of them a year. They come thick and fast, and sometimes it just doesn't happen for you. So, but yeah, I'll be looking towards those next year and trying to give myself the best chance I can.
Questions, please. Joy.
Tommy, 2 questions from me. The first one is your position in the race to Dubai this year. It's 94th. This is going to be a big week for you. What are you feeling about this tournament? I mean, if you have to qualify for Abu Dhabi and...
I think, look, there's always, I think that's the thing in golf. There's always something to play for. There's always something else that comes up. There's always something that you will end up striving for, no matter how high or low you sit in any kind of rankings. And for me, I guess, I think I've, you sort of, I don't want to use the term take it for granted that I've always played, qualified for the last events. But yeah, like it's something that I haven't had to think about for a few years. So strange season. Again, you talk about what a great season I've had and achieved some great things. But similar to the majors, really, I look at the year I've had on the race to Dubai and where I sit, and it's kind of disappointing to be that far down and not really competing at the top end of the race to Dubai. So. But having said all that, I've always believed that wherever I am, I'm just trying to work on the right things, try and continue to improve, because that's the most important thing. And I'll stay focused on this week. I think that's all I can do. And yeah, try and have the best week possible and try and finish the season as strong as possible.
And secondly, Tommy, we had a long interview in Turkey, if you remember. And you spoke a lot about yoga and how it helped you become calmer, become better. And yoga is a very, India's kind of, offering to the world. Can you just tell us all about what it has meant to you, doing the yoga and meditation?
I haven't done yoga for a while, actually. I need to get back into that. But no, I think, I remember when I had a huge phase of that when we would have been talking, and I remember when I was really struggling with my game and I was in a bad place, sort of having the worst periods of golf that I'd had, and I feel like part of, as hard as I worked and as, all the decisions that I made to try and get my game back at the time, I feel like meditation was a huge part of that, because I had to really sort of rewire my confidence and things like that. And I still do that to this day. I might be a bit sporadic with it, but I really feel like it's a powerful tool, and I feel like it's very, very important. And I think there's a lot of, you know, goals that I set or visualizations that come in a week or a tournament or, you know, wherever it may be. And I feel like meditation is a big part of that, and it helps me a lot. So, yeah, like I would always advise anybody, you know, when they're thinking about things like that, I would say definitely do it. And, yeah, maybe the yoga is something that I need to, you know, I'm not old yet, but I could still do with moving my body better.
This side here.
Hi, Tommy. Welcome to India. My question to you is that you have had a look at the course. What are your plans for the week? Second of all, I wanted to ask you that in a growing market like India, the DP World India Championship, how big it is for the golfing landscape in India, and what are your plans on the weekend after you get free from the course? Like Rory said that he wanted to watch a game of cricket. So what are your plans like going ahead?
Well, I'll be going back home on Sunday, Sunday night. I'll celebrate Diwali in Dubai on Monday. So, but yeah, I think the course. Look, I think the course is so good in terms of I think you can have a like definite strategy in how you want to play the course. I can't imagine many people doing it, but you can be as aggressive as you want, really, in terms of the clubs you're hitting off the tee. But overall, it's like you have to put the ball in play. Being in the fairway makes a huge difference. You have to control your iron play. You have to be patient. You have to be strategic. And I really like that about golf courses when we get to play those. And I feel like it puts me in a good mindset. And I feel like when I go on the range this afternoon, I can practice for what the course requires. And yeah, I think even, you know, for me, I've not been back to India for a while now, but I feel like the game is growing so much, and especially with the younger generations. I had some juniors that were walking around with me today. I think that's something that I, you know, am particularly very passionate about is growing the game at a grassroots level, getting juniors into the game and watching it grow from that end, and hopefully, like tournaments like these and getting the players that are playing here, hopefully it can be, you know, some form of motivation or inspiration to grow the sport and to get kids into the sport, and hopefully it'll be a great week. But yeah, I feel like there's so much potential in this country, in this region, and what we can do with the game and how that game can help so much. So yeah, hopefully we can go a long way from here.
Right there in the front.
Hi, Tommy. My name is Samar Sikka. I'm from NewsX. A couple of questions from me. First is around you finally broke through on the PGA Tour with a few recent wins, and what mental shifts do you bring into a tournament like this in an unfamiliar environment? What does that preparation look like for you?
Well, I think there's so many similarities week in, week out in terms of yeah, we don't know this course as well as others, with it being the first time that we're back here for a while. Well, I think there's so many similarities week in, week out in terms of yeah, we don't know this course as well as others, with it being the first time that we're back here for a while. But I think you arrive, you want to work to get your game in the best place it can be, and then you look at the strategy and what's required for this course, and you practice that. I think for me personally, I'm still very focused on, you know, whatever tournaments I have left this year. I want to continue to try and play well, continue to build on. You know, there's momentum there that I've gained throughout the summer and a lot of consistency in my game, and hopefully I want to continue to do that, and I feel like my game's still in a good place. I still feel very fresh, and still looking forward to the challenge, and still have things that I'm aiming for. So yeah, this has been great. Like I was really excited. You know, I traveled on Monday. I got to the course Tuesday morning. I was excited to get on the putting green. I was excited to see the course. So yeah, like, you know, we've got Pro-Am's done. We've got 4 days of tournament golf now, and I'm sort of excited to get going.
And second, very quickly, this is an event of this stature. It's one of the biggest in India in recent times. It really is India's litmus test for its place on the golf calendar. What would make it a success in your eyes for yourself, for the fans, for golf in India?
Well, I think it's hopefully we can put on a good showcase of the sport. You know, we have a lot of great players there. I think the DP World Tour is an amazing tour. Hopefully we can showcase the sport in the best possible way. And I honestly think a success here would be seeing a growth in the game in the country, seeing a lot of interest at all levels and at all ages. And you know, this could be an amazing, you know, an amazing point in where we can grow the game and get as many, you know, people into it as possible. And and you look towards, you can look as far ahead into the future as you want and goal set and reach for the stars. But we'll focus on now, and hopefully we can just put on the best event possible. We can play well, have an amazing finish to the tournament. I'm sure we're going to get an amazing champion, and hopefully we get a lot of people into the game as well. Thank you.
Right next to Deborah. Yeah.
Hi Tommy, welcome to India. Tommy, we have seen you share quite a few golf tips and lessons. What's that one piece of advice you would like to give to amateur or club golfers?
To amateur club golfers, I don't know. That's a tough one. I always feel like there's a lot of tips and advice you can give. But I think if club golfers could start with trying to get around with one golf ball is always kind of a great achievement. So I was like, I feel like my dad, that's always his form of success in a round of golf. No matter what he shot, he has the same golf ball at the end. So that'll definitely save strokes if you could do that. Find a way of putting the ball in play and being sensible.
Let's have quick questions, please.
Yeah.
Not long ones.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi.
Something a little bit on the more fun end here. Your son, Franklin, has, so to speak, been the man of the hour right now. Is he enjoying it?
He's having a great time, actually. I feel very lucky that, I get to, bring our kids to such amazing places, really. I think it's something, I actually didn't get to travel until I was about 14, 15 years old. So for Frankie to have been to as many places as he has and still get the chance to visit new cultures and new places, I think is great. And he absolutely loves the game. Like, he loves golf, and he loves being around the golf courses and the tournaments and everything. And he's like, it's such a big source of inspiration for me and motivation. So it's always great having him around.
Hita.
Hi, Tommy. You're always known as the people's champion.
Oh, that's nice.
It's not a title that many athletes get to wear. Even those who win many majors, Grand Slams, World Cups, whatever, very few chosen few get to wear this people's champion title. How does that make you feel? And number two, how difficult is it to hold on to your old school values?
No, I think, I'm very driven by the values that have been instilled in me as a kid. I think I've been lucky to have great parents that started me off. I have an amazing family now. Very lucky that I just get to be myself and get pushed in the right direction whenever it's needed to. But I've always been very lucky with the connection that I make with people and I make with fans wherever I go, and I've always been very grateful for the support that I have. And I feel like it sort of continued to grow, especially with like the story this year when I was in contention quite a lot and couldn't get it done. And I've always felt like I just want to do the right things, and whenever it's sort of not necessarily tough times, but always try to be positive, always say the right things. And I think people just sort of resonated with it a little bit, and I was very, very sort of grateful that people liked it and they supported that and they joined in the story, and I always feel like the support that I get, I always feel like I'm playing. Yeah, of course, it's an individual sport, and I'm chasing my own kind of goals and my dreams, if you like, but I feel like people are doing it with me. I always feel like they can carry me at certain times, and I'm always very grateful for the love and the support that I get.
We'll have a couple of questions for Miraj, please, there.
Tommy, golf's hard on all of us, but you guys really get your teeth knocked out so often. I just wondered, how is it? What do you look? How do you get up again? I mean, I remember watching I think it was the St. Jude Classic when Rosie won, and at that point, I think you'd gone through a lot of top 5 finishes. But to bounce back from that and go on and win the FedEx Cup, how do you do that?
Well, I think like it feels. I think the obvious first thing is that whatever happens, I mean, what's the point in letting it have a negative effect on whatever happens next? I mean, it's just pointless. It's obvious, but then it's obviously harder to do. And I think always with me, any time I had to do an interview after something like that had happened, I felt like it was really important. I feel the same feelings as everybody else. I could have moped or sulked or been angry, but I really wanted to try and rewire it as quickly as possible and see the positives, because like, you know, there's plenty of things that you can kick yourself for. There's plenty of things that you can get wrong, but you're going to have to play next week or the week after that or the week after that, and there's absolutely no point in letting anything have a negative impact on what happens next. So, you know, all those times where I came really close, I'd had a better week than so many people that week. And there's times when I've played tournaments and I've been really happy finishing 20th because I had a good Sunday. So there's so much good there that's the stuff that you should focus on. Of course, there's things that I would want to improve on and things that I know that I might have got wrong. And I'll work on those things. I'm not going to, you know, lie to myself and say everything was great. You know, I'll know I've got got things wrong. But the important thing for me is to give yourself the best chance every time you go out and play, and having a positive attitude and a good mindset is very important for that.
Easier to do now that you've won the FedEx Cup?
Not really. I think, you know, there's different challenges for everything, and I think when things are going well, you know, one of the hardest things that any sports person has to deal with is their own expectations. You have to manage your own expectations, and you know, like I say, different things have different challenges. You know, and I've missed out on winning that many times that I always knew that I wasn't going to let one win change anything. Like, my game is still what it was, where, you know, the week before Atlanta, and even on the Sunday at Atlanta, my game is still the same, even when I'd walked off the 18th green, and I know what I have to improve to be the best player that I feel like I can be, and I just want to keep working on that.
Yeah, Joy?
Tommy, everyone is talking about you, Rory, being the superstars this week. But another star we are not talking much about is DP World, your sponsors as well. You've been with them for quite a few years now. Can you just talk to us about that association and what they mean to golf now, given what they're doing for the entire tour?
Well, yeah, I remember being sat down when DP World announced, you know, the tour, the European tour became the DP World Tour. So that was 2022 or whenever that was, and I remember sat there then, and it was pretty, you know, a big announcement, really. And I think from then, I think as professional golfers that play on the tour and where our lives, you know, that's what we play for. That's how we earn our living. I think we're very, very lucky, and we're very grateful to DP World for coming along and doing that. And I think it's amazing for us. And then for me to have them as a partner, they've supported the Tommy Fleetwood Academy now for a few years, and that's been amazing because individually, it's sort of a massive passion of mine to grow the game at all levels, from grassroots to the elite level, and helping people, you know, strive for their dreams and achieve great things in the game. They've been an amazing partner with that and helped me so much. And yeah, and as an ambassador, I can't ask for, you know, much more from them. I feel like, you know, I've been lucky to be partnered with them, you know, carry their name around the world wherever I go, and I do. I'm very proud of that. So they're going to be in the game for a lot longer, and I think we're all very grateful as professional golfers that we get the support from them that we do.
All right, thank you so much, Tommy.
Thank you.
Tommy, did you know that a lot of Indian kids go over to Dubai to play in your junior tournaments?
Yeah, I did know. So again, you know, connections. So it's amazing to have them there. The first day of the HAGA event is today, actually.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm not there, but you know, I'll be looking at the scores later, and just so grateful to everybody that supported the tournament. So thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Nice.